everyone, today I want to talk about tracing. I'll share 3 reasons why I think that it's probably hurting you more than it's helping you. And then I'll share with you my extremely frustrating story of how tracing went wrong and what I had to do to fix it. First, let's talk about character. When you trace, it can really make your artwork feel a bit flat and unoriginal. The magic of art often lies in the imperfections, the little quirks that make your style unique. Tracing can strip away that personal touch, leaving your work looking less likable and, quite frankly, less engaging. No one will want to look at it. By relying on observation, you're likely unintentionally exaggerate someone's uniqueness. You might notice this person might have wide-set eyes or a small chin, and by the time you draw them, you've made their chin smaller and their eyes wider set. Let me show you an example of my son. He has wide set eyes, very large eyes. He has a very long neck, and he has kind of a small chin and archy M-shaped lips. But all of those things were exaggerated in this drawing. And by the time it was done, it looks more like him than the source photo. But this is my dad, and my dad has wide set eyes, has a very large chin, and his mouth is kind of up close to his nose. And this is one of my favorite pieces of art that I've done. I think it looks just like him and a little bit of a caricature, and I really like that about it. Moving on to my second point, skill improvement. When you trace, you might be thinking that you're honing in on your skills, but in reality, you're missing out on a very valuable practice. Drawing is all about muscle memory and understanding forms. Tracing doesn't engage those muscles or help you to develop your observational skills. By relying on tracing, you're not challenging yourself to learn and to grow as an artist. And I promise, if you are practicing regularly to draw from observation, you will get better. And you'll be so much more proud of your work. Lastly, let's discuss trust. Specifically, trusting your own eyes. When you trace, it's easy to become overly reliant on the lines you've traced instead of what you actually see. This can lead to disconnect between your perception and your drawing. If you start trusting the trace more than your own instincts, it can be difficult to make correction. And here's my kind of embarrassing story. So I was commissioned to draw this family portrait, and I was a little intimidated with having all 4 of them on the page. So I used a new tracing method that I found out about, and I traced the composition. And I was thinking, I don't want to fully trace every little detail. I want to make sure that I have that character. So I just kind of put in lines roughly in the right spots, and I was gonna try to use my observing skills to really make that character come out. But what happened was I got off on particularly on the mom on this family, and I could not get her likeness to come back. And essentially I had somehow drawn it off based on the tracing. And sometimes it can be hard to remember what line meant what, especially when it comes to chins. You might have a couple different lines that you need to base it off of. And I ended up working on it for hours just on her and just struggling to get that likeness. And how I eventually had to fix it was I had to pretty much erase both her nose and eye and her mouth and ask myself those questions. Does she have wide set eyes? Does she have a big chin? Does she have a small nose or a long nose? And figure out from that how to move forward. And when I did that and I redrew it, it came together quickly and I got her likeness. And if you like this type of content, just go ahead and leave a comment. I really love reading those. Thank you for watching.